Hey, Cynthia, just want to ask you how everything went today.
Good luck with everything.
All right, thanks. Give us a quick moment.
Sure. Nothing more to say than I said this morning.
Well, can you talk about how in a national interview that Casey mentioned to you that she knows where Kaylee is in her own way? What exactly that means?
I've said that before. I'm not elaborating anymore. I mean, we're beating everything. We're going over and over again. Bottom line is we need to focus on the search for Kaylee. You guys figure out how to do that. I'm doing it the best I can. George is doing it the best he can, and so is Lee. We're trying to get flyers out there. We're making phone calls. We've got people looking for. That's all I can say anymore. I mean, I want to bring her home. I want her home today. I want her home by Saturday.
Is there any theory that you guys have thought about that could have happened? Or?
Yeah, we've gone through all the scenarios with the authorities. They know everything that what we're feeling and what they do with it. I can't make them do anything. I mean,
Cindy, what about the mix-up with stories of the gas cans? Initially, you told us that the gas cans were stolen by a neighbor or some neighborhood thief or neighborhood thug, whatever.
No.
But then last night, you spilled it out completely.
No one ever said gas cans were stolen by a neighbor. There you guys go again.
Okay, someone other than Cynthia stole somebody other than Casey stole the gas can.
No, what it was, and let's get it straight, and the gas can issue is done. My husband went to the shed. The lock was broken. The gas cans weren't there. He was going to try to mow the grass. He made a police report. Okay? I had told Casey on the phone that Dad had made a police report. She told me, Mom, I took the cans. I didn't have a chance to call George yet. By the time she got home, she was going to put the cans back. George was here. She was embarrassed to tell him, it's done. You know, that's it. If he'd have known that Casey had them, he wouldn't have made a report. Plain and simple. She needed the cans because she had ran out of gas prior. She had a faulty gas gauge. Simple as that. That's irrelevant to this case. So there's no reason to bring it up.
Then why did investigators get them and collect them as evidence if you guys knew that Casey had taken them?
Because previously she had used the gas cans. There's other people's fingerprints on there besides us, and that's what they're looking at.
Can you explain why Casey was keeping George away from the car when this...
Because she didn't want him to know that the gas cans were there. She thought she could put them back and leave him a note of apology. I told her I would talk to him later. You know, she didn't want to have him see it. But when he saw the cans, he also saw there wasn't anything else in the car that was suspicious. So, I mean, he was in the back of the car and he saw the cans there. There was no Kaylee in the back of the car. There was nothing else in the back of the car except the normal stuff. A little bin that you put stuff in and some clothing, which is typically in the back of her trunk. So, you know, again, this has nothing to do with Kaylee.
Okay, what does it say? What does it say about? What does the behavior say about Casey?
No behavior. You know.
No, what happened? What does it say about her? What does it indicate?
It doesn't say anything about Casey. It doesn't say anything that she's a murderer. Okay, so let's get off that subject. You know, the bottom line is Casey's just as much a victim as Kaylee is, but Kaylee's the one that's not safe out there. She's the one that can't speak for herself. She's the one that needs everybody to do the thing that they need to do, is to stop focusing on her mom and start focusing on finding her.
But Casey can speak.
Casey has spoken. She's spoken. They don't want to listen. And I can't go into any more of that because, again, that's part of the investigation.
Cindy, real quick, where does this go from here as far as the investigation, finding Kaylee? Are we waiting? Is communication dependent on something to get a hold of whoever has Kaylee to lead us to resolving it?
Absolutely not. There's people out there looking for these people. And when they locate these people or person, they will find Kaylee. But until then, we have to allow them to do their job. I can't say anything that's going to jeopardize the investigation. There's a lot of people out there looking for her. A lot of people following up on this.
Can you indicate whether there's actually communication taking place between the alleged kidnappers and investigators?
I cannot comment on that. I cannot comment on that.
Cindy, I'm sorry. I've been gone for a while, and I'm really dealing with this. You just said that there are certain things that you can't say because it would jeopardize the investigation. Is that like a request from the police not to talk about things, or is that just something?
It's common sense, number one. It's just common sense. You know, Geraldo asked me 3 days after this all happened if I could give him the names of the lead, you know, people that are suspect. I can't do that kind of thing. That's just stupid. Yesterday, I heard that one of the stations, which I haven't figured out yet, someone said it was Fox and Fox said it wasn't them, released something that the authorities were going to raid a house that they believe Kaylee was in. Well, why would responsible reporting tip off people that have Kaylee and like say, hey, the police are coming after you, do something with Kaylee? Again, that's the kind of stuff that's ridiculous. And if you guys want to help, I can't say enough. Let's talk about what we can do, what our efforts are to find Kaylee. Talk to the authorities. Tell them, have them tell you what they're doing, you know, specifically, you know, following up on tips.
Daily briefings?
Absolutely not. And I don't think they have time to do that. I mean, it'd be nice if someone once a day could at least call us and say, hey, you know, we're doing this, this, or this.
But you're not getting calls.
We're
from
not
police.
getting calls, no.
Cindy,
We
what do you want the
satisfied
public
with
to
what they're
do?
doing?
You want the public
I want
to
the
just sit
public-
back and be quiet and wait for the investigators
No, I
to
don't
find
want-
the kid, or do you want the public to actively assist?
I want the public to stop believing all these innuendos, all these half-truths, and making a judgment against someone that hasn't been charged with anything. The evidence is back. They have it and charge her with something. Obviously, they don't have anything. That's why we're working on a timeline now that should have been done 4 weeks ago. So those kind of questions are kind of ridiculous. People have to look at common sense stuff. She's not going to leave a car that's full of evidence out in plain daylight that I'm going to see every day when I would go to work. She's not going to leave incriminating evidence in a car that someone can pick up that's going to put her behind bars or put her potentially, you know, with the death penalty. She's not going to do something like that. She's going to protect her child. That's what a mother will do, is protect her child. Okay?
Based on everything that you know right now, if you were the one making the calls on how do we find Kaylee as fast as possible, what is the strategy?
The strategy is not to mislead people into believing that Kaylee is not longer with us, okay?
Have they suggested that to you, the police?
Well, you know, when I'm told, you can't talk both sides of your mouth. You are either saying that you're looking for Kaylee or you're not looking for Kaylee. And I find it very hard to swallow when they say that they believe Kaylee was in the back of that trunk and that they're out fully looking for Kaylee. They haven't proven anything that Kaylee's been in the back of that trunk. And until they do, and they bring me proof, Kaylee's alive. A lot of people believe Kaylee's alive. A lot of people are out there looking for Kaylee. And the kind of stuff that's put out there, the more people that believe that Kaylee's not alive, they're the ones that are not going to look for Kaylee. We do not know, we've said from day one, we don't know where Kaylee is at.